Yeah.
The thing was like at the start of the journey, and it is going to get easier, like to agree with you completely, because at the start of the journey, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just like figuring it out as I go, and things were breaking. Like we're in a Walmart parking lot in Fairbanks, and we pulled the array down, and one of the arms just snapped, and half of the solar arrays just like fell down on the ground, and I was like, oh my god, like what am I doing?
Wow.
I got to fix this on the road, on the fly, kind of thing. And so
Your
then
panels, they're the glass kind?
no, they're flexible.
Oh, they're
They're
the
flexible.
flexible ones. Okay, so they're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
super heavy because the glass ones are really heavy, right? And you have a
yeah,
lot of them in there.
definitely.
For those of you who don't know,
Uh-huh.
he's got the van and he's got these things that stick out, so it's got like 3 times more area than the roof of your van, right? It's like three
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
and then you can tilt them. And so there's how many panels are on there?
There's 20. There were 24 sol 330 watt solar
Okay,
panels
those
on
are the
there.
big
So
ones. 30,
just under
36.
eight,
Those are the 36
300.
cells, each one.
Yeah, 16 by 6. Is that right? No, 16 by 5. No, there's lots of cells on there. Yeah,
So
they're big. They're big.
they're the bigger
Well,
panels.
they were custom made. They were
Oh, they were
custom made
custom made.
specifically for this project. Yeah,
No
and
way,
that's
who made
probably
them?
I got them made in China over
Oh,
in
okay, okay.
Shenzhen or something like that.
Oh,
There's a
I
company who makes
see.
custom flexible panels. And so the cells inside of them were the first generation Maxion solar sun power cells.
Oh, yeah,
So
and those are the best ones. They're actually made in the U.S. and somehow shipped over there. I think, right? It's that.
exactly, they buy packs of the cells and then they fabricate their own flexible
They have
panels.
the highest density. Like they have the most efficient
Mhm.
panels that you can get, and the way they make them is like they cut them off a wafer of like silica or whatever. And yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
so those
Okay.
are cool, and they're custom made, and it's a giant area. Like I mean, you have like this giant thing that you can tilt, and
It's hard
that's how
to
you're
even
doing.
and without a visual aid, it's really hard to
It's hard.
demonstrate to explain it, right? Yeah, I actually enjoy hearing other people try to describe it without visual aid because it's like even sometimes with the van in front of people, it's hard to explain. They're just like, what? Like, what does
Yeah,
that
because
look?
they're not always deployed, so they're tucked in,
Yeah.
right, while you're traveling, and then well,
Uh-huh.
it means you have to park somewhere and then take out this
Yeah.
structure, which is 2 flat panels that come out, and yeah, so it's a big thing, and it was designed up there by solar roller guys, right, and you didn't test
Uh,
it, so then you have to kind of figure it out as you're going along.
we just didn't have time, you know. Poor Brett and Kira, I kind of like told them about the project. Basically, the way it all like came to be is I lived in Canada for 5 years prior to this.
Okay,
I was living up there. And
you're
I
Australian.
I'm Australian. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
originally from the Gold Coast in Australia,
okay,
but I moved to Canada in 2014 and blah 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 blah. Blah. I fell in love, and then love ended, and I was
okay.
heartbroken. And what better way to mend a broken heart than to build a solar powered spaceship and drive across?
There's one way, yes. Go on some crazy adventure around the world, yeah. And then
Some
you
people
went
might
up
do
to
it.
them, so then you went up to these solar roller guys, and he had built already a couple of vehicles, but nothing that big, right? Um,
No, yeah.
did he put in any
There was
fight, or did he say, "Nah, man, this is a crazy idea," or was he like, "Yes, let's build it, let's do it," you know?
basically like we had one conversation on the phone, and I was like, "Look, this is the situation. Like, I've got to clean up my life in Canada. I've got stuff all because I was living all over the country. I was moving for work and all sorts of stuff. So I had like surfboards on the East Coast. I had snowboards on the West Coast. I had furniture in Quebec where I was living. My car was so I just had to clean my life up. And I was like, hey, like I'm gonna organize my stuff and then we're gonna build this thing. And he was like, all right, like the sooner you can get here, the better. And I was like, and by the way, I need to be in the Arctic Circle in August. Like, otherwise it's not going to happen. Like this year, we'll have to wait for next year. And he was like, get here, like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So
Okay.
I say poor Brett, but he knew what he signed up for as well at the same time. But
Yeah,
in
well,
saying that too,
and the
it was,
crazy
it
thing is
was,
that look, if you had come to me, I would have been like, "You're crazy." Now that's a crazy idea. Now you need more time. You need to test the stuff. We need to do like proof of concept. That's how I would approach. But Brett, I guess he done it already, right? He's built other cars. He built other cars for customers and stuff. So he was like, he had a better understanding. Like, yeah, we can do this. We can build a thing that works or whatever, and then you can. So he was on board 100% from day one,
Yeah.
I guess.
He
Oh, okay.
he started building like lead acid solar powered golf carts. Like that was 15 years ago. He was sort of doing this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, he did a bus with lead acid batteries,
yeah,
which
he
I
did
thought
his
like,
bus.
what? That's crazy. Like I would never do that. Like, that's it doesn't have enough range, the heavy thing or whatever. But he did it, and then he transitioned to lithium, right? And so I'm like, oh, it's a good thing. Like it was a stepping
Stepping
stone
stone,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So
But
I'm
yeah,
like,
you're
that's
right.
great.
He had a bunch of experience, and so it was easier for him to see it possible. But I mean, like in the heat of the moment, it was like, well, we've taken on too much. But we got it done. We got it done, and that was the main thing. But it was chaotic. So we just didn't have time to test it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think any sane person like yourself would say, hey, like this is
Yeah,
not right.
well, I don't know. To tell the truth, mostly it's like we're jaded because we know what we do. Like, if you come to me and say, like, hey, let's convert a BW bus with like, like 60, 70 kilowatt hours and, 100, 150 miles of range, I'm like, I'm down. I've done that before.
Yeah.
I know it's possible. I know how to do it, you know. But then you come to me, like, if you say, like, put some solar panels in there, I'll be like, no, you're crazy. Like, I've never done that. It's a crazy idea. It takes someone like him that's done it already to say, yes, this is
Exactly.
possible. We
Yeah.
can do it. So you went to the right guy, obviously. If you had come to us,
Absolutely, yeah.
I'd be like, you're crazy. Get out of here, You're dreaming.
He was on board, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. We still didn't even know if it was because it was a bigger van.
Yeah.
All sorts of things. The weight of a bus versus an E-Star is great. Like the E-Star is just over 3 tons to start with, and we're
Yeah.
adding batteries and panels, and so it ends up being about 14,000 pounds, at the end of the build.
And then
which
you
is
got to put your
huge.
stuff in there. Like, you got to put your
Well,
food and
that was
your,
with
right?
everything in it.
Because,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that was with everything. So because you have to
Yep.
basically convert it into a livable space, mobile space, right? Because these vans are not set up like that. It's like cargo van kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Michael Breen from EV West has one at the moment that they're working on. They're doing some fancy stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if you watch their video, it's just you can see even my videos too. You can see what it was like when I first got it. It's just a shell,
That's
like
just a shell.
just bare shell. It's basically a cab chassis with a box on the back of it, with a fiberglass box on the back of it. So yeah, we had to do a bunch of work to the interior and all of that sort of stuff. So
You have to insulate it and then build where you're
Yeah.
gonna sleep, where you're gonna cook, where you're gonna,
Mhm.
store all
Yeah.
the equipment that you need, right?
And that thing too, that was not finished when I left as well. So I didn't have running water when I got to the Arctic Circle. Like it's just like, it was not that you need it. Like some people live in very crudely converted vans just because they want to get on the road and start exploring. So you can do it without it. But I just had no, like, I didn't even have like a bottle with a tap on it, like to fill up a glass of water to get a drink. So I was just like, okay, I've got to
Figure it out.
figure it out. And I basically didn't stop the conversion process until I got down to Mexico last year in January. I'd literally just finished the interior conversions when I got here because I was on the road. I was, making videos and networking and doing all this sort of stuff and converting the van at the same time. And it's like an insane amount of work.
Yeah. So then you crossed the chapter 2. You crossed the U.S. How did that go? Was that much easier? Was that better? Like less challenging, maybe? Or
Absolutely, like night and day, almost.
Wow.
Exactly night and day. I crossed that border, and there were still some problems with like the tracking system of the van. We still needed to do reparations, which we were planning to do when we got back to Oregon with Brett.